blockchain. So it's a identity system, an app, to be precise, that you would download and that you could use to engage in different services and transactions. The key point why we say blockchain is because you'll be tied to a specific blockchain address. This gives you opportunities. So now, not only do you have all the benefits of the trust system that's inherent in the blockchain, but you can also have an account. So you can use it to not only identify yourself, but to make transactions, interact with other smart contracts, and do other wonderful things. So I want to talk a little bit before I hand over to my colleague about costs, time, and trust. So costs, obviously. When we approached this problem, it was the current system of events. New Orleans is a city of events. It's the lifeblood of the city. Currently, events need to be, you go to the one-stop shop, it's called, and the city has done great efforts in streamlining the process of how events get registered. But it could be improved. Currently, I mean, for all the technical hand-waving, it's still, you're printing out PDFs, you're signing them, you're submitting them, you're identifying yourself at City Hall, you're paying the fines. This could be changed by the system. That's the first step. So we could it's not a question of eliminating the network administrators or taking care of passwords and logins, because of course we won't have passwords and logins in a digital system. In our system, in a blockchain system, it's not only about the cashier and the city planning and the PDF printing costs. It's also that they could be refocused and used more specifically for data mining and more appropriate smart contracts and more. Oh, we gotta go. Okay, so hurry up. Time. Online verification is a lot cheaper than a lot simpler and cheaper than going to City Hall. Trust. So the app secures personal information on the blockchain, as discussed. We'll probably have a little questions about that. There are a few solutions. Ethereum is only one of them. And now I'm handing over to my esteemed colleague.
Great. I'm going to try to be quick in this last minute. If you guys can see your phones, this is a mock-up of the passport. And this will, if you hit the floor delete next to the face, you'll see that he's now advanced to a screen where he goes into his planning. He's a big-time festival promoter. In order to get through the city's red tape of permits and security and police and all the stuff that you need involved, he'll be able to do that right from his phone, as well as get a report, which is a checks and balances that the city and any other, and the club promoter and the artist would appreciate, because you would be able to calculate and account for every part of the event, the incidents, the money, the people, anything that they can improve. It'd be a report that can be a fee attached to that report that'll be emailed or mailed to the parties involved who are interested in getting that, who can use that data to extrapolate interest. All kinds of data will be captured here, underlying. But up front, it will give you the, as Charles said, the Laissez Passer. You will be extremely vetted to get on this site. So when you go to the event, let's say you're not the promoter, you're just an event goer, you can present your passport, and it allows you ease of access for our 300th anniversary. We're going to have people going all over the city, and we want to be able to get them through there easily, sort of like a cruise ship, you pre-board. So now we know if you have the passport, you skip the lines. You may even have your own line to get to the front if we can get the coordinators to back us. And it'll just get you through without being patted down by a frisky TSA agent, so to speak. All right? We appreciate you guys' attention. We're open up for questions.
I think we hit it just on time. We're a little bit over. What are the questions? Who wants to join first?
I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about how to manage the identity issue with multiple systems. You know, like the whole one-stop shop. Like, there's a lot of different systems that we're using in the back end to connect. You know, we have this one system for this kind of procurement, another one for this kind of procurement, another one for these kinds of permits. We got, you know.
That will be part of our back end work. If you would go to the concert promoter tab, there are three. There's a entrepreneur, a local, and a visitor's VIP pass. But for the entrepreneur, which is you're speaking to, he would go to the permits tab. Well, we will have already listed all of the items that he would need, such as, you know, venue procurement.
No, I'm sorry, that's not my question. We have Llama, which is our land use management tool.
Right.
That's where all of the safety and permits kind of stuff goes. We have Laggin, that's our system for all the 311 tickets. We have AFIN, that's another financial system that we have. We have.
But they're currently not talking to each other. That's the real issue.
If you have an individual person who is using identity management from blockchain, how you then have to integrate blockchain identity management into each of those systems.
It's the same passport. So the same passport would be introduced. You would have to write specific code for all of those systems, but it would be what makes it easier is that you have it's on the users download the app. The information is on the app, so it's not different logins, not network administration of each of those systems that you're like. Those systems are like little kingdoms by their own. So you have network administrators, dealing with login information, updating information. So we're taking it out of their hands, putting it onto the phone for a streamlined system, and all of those different kingdoms that you're talking about right now, or silos, or whatever you want to define them as. You can write code specifically to address these addresses, so they know where to look for the verification. So you're flipping it around, and you're giving the user the control over their information more so than him having to log in and have a third party or the city manage the identity of the person.
What about if I lost the cell phone?
Sorry?
I lost my cell phone.
Yes. Well, just like if you had a digital wallet, you would just
Recovery process.
Yeah, recovery process. You buy a new phone, obviously, and then you would your digital identity would still be secured. So, and there's more than just it's not just a QCR code. Like we gave the example of a QCR code. Like Beyonce is trying to get to the jazz festival. She shows her QCR code, security scans it, she's in. Right?
Okay.
That's one way. But like if you lose it, your identity, it's more about the security comes in where on the blockchain is like there's a picture of you, there's your phone number, your residence, thumbprint, all kinds of idea. That cannot be changed. So the immutability of the blockchain secures that. So even if somebody steals your phone, it's going to be very difficult for them to use your Laissez Passer, because when you get scanned at a security checkpoint, their picture is not their face is not going to match your picture.
Yes.
Your fingerprint's not going to match.
Yes,
so there's
I
the biometric angle to
Okay,
it.
just like a digital wallet.
Just like a digital wallet.
That's why I understood.
You would
Yeah.
have a 12-word passphrase. You could go back.
Yeah, another question I have. What about cost? Is it going to be free for all? I mean, just to download this app, or I need to pay something?
Well, originally
What's
we
the business model?
Yeah.
To deploy this.
Yeah, I think it should be incentivized. So the last thing people need is like another app. So I think there should be you can either do incentives because you get what you incentivize. I think the city would have a benefit by using a system like this. So there might be an incentive that there could be lower permit fees, lower adoption. Like if you use our system, you justify it because you're saving trees, so you're not chopping down trees, less administration expenses. So there could be a benefit that the city could use.
Looks like it's going to be not free, but using this, a lot of discounts you got.
Yes.
It'll be free to certain people. And for instance, if a tourist wants to come in and get a VIP pass, obviously they pay for that, because they would get access to the museums, all the municipality events and venues that are available to them. They'll get a list of those, first of all. They'll also get access to them.
Yeah,
as far
I
as
understood.
paid events.
I understood, but
one thing I was
question.
talking last night is Air France, for instance. I mean, I just came up with this yesterday, so it's like pretty fresh. But last night I was talking to a friend of mine. He wants me to present as in New York to Air France because they want to do a special for the 300-year event, and they have like high-profile VIPs, and they don't want to nobody knows the French foreign minister, nobody knows the stars of France. They might be big in France, but nobody here. So if they had an ID system that Air France could, for their first class elite customers, they could use that system to get entry into the casinos, stuff like that. And it also could help with,
Yeah, in ideal world, everybody would have it, right? So that's.
I think it's more an elite thing. We're cutting the velvet rope. We're cutting the velvet rope.
Getting back to the capacity and performance.
Yes.
What do you think about just the back end of this system? How it would be implemented? To do this scalable solution.
Of course. Well, at the moment, we're looking at 3 possible solutions. So we spoke with the representative of IBM over there. So there's the Hyperledger. That's one way. There's one way to go, Ethereum. Right now, I mean, let me say something. This is not an original idea. This is technology that is being tested and run out. There's a city in Switzerland called Zug, right, which is already using this. As we speak here, in our PDF and 20th century filling out forms and using our driver's license and checkbooks to file for things. In the city of Zug right now, you can pay for your parking ticket with Bitcoin. You can do most administrative services with Bitcoin. And you have a U-port, that's one of the proposed systems, identity. Then there's block stack. There's a lot of approaches, but the system is the idea is always the same. That you have a permanent address on the blockchain, and that the blockchain, through layering and layering of blocks, secures your identity.
Okay.
And the
Understood.
accountability of your events or any activity you have. So you can go back to that and see what worked, what didn't work. Again, anybody that's owed money, it kind of eliminates the pocket money. If you do a festival, you could take, 20% of the tickets, put them in your pocket. But if everyone is forced, if we approach the venue owner and they regulate the people involved to use the Laissez Passer system, then everything's chronicled in there. And again, the blockchain system allows it to be non-corruptible. So it's all factual.
Okay, yes.
And
It's trust. Right.
We're cutting out the middleman, and we're cutting out the entourage
And the
and the corruption of performance, like box office, and I think what is interesting, I mean, that's obviously an interest for the city because of fees, but I think there's also another point, is that you get a granularity. You know what kind of performers, what kind of events, who's visiting them, and it gives you a level of what you could sponsor. So like you could tie this in, if the system's pervasive enough, you could tie it into pictures and video and match it with the historical society. So we know history is made every day. So if there are people at certain events, they could be photographed, and then you could have a whole. We're also talking about